In the news headline, Presidential Election Court reserves judgment on Atiku's case against Tinubu. EFCC urged Supreme Court to overturn discharge of ex-Governor Lamido. Jigawa State tops 2022 budget transparency survey. From the foreign scene, United Kingdom ready to follow West Africa's lead on Niger effort. Hello listeners, today is Tuesday, 1st July 2023. I am Salma Adam Iko with the news. The Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja has reserved judgment in Atiku Abubakar's petition challenging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's victory. Haruna Tsammani, who led the five-member panel of the court, said today that a date for judgment in the suit will be communicated to parties. The Electoral Commission (INEC) had on 1st March declared Mr. Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress (APC) winner of the 25th February presidential election, but Atiku of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) urged the court in his petition to nullify Mr. Tinubu's victory on ground of non-compliance with the Nigerian Constitution and the Electoral Act. Earlier at Tuesday's proceedings, INEC's lawyer Abubakar Mahmood urged the court to dismiss Atiku's suit for lacking in merit. He contended that Atiku's case centered on alleged non-compliance with the Electoral Act and INEC guidelines and regulations, which the petitioner did not substantiate. President Bola Tinubu will today attend the 63rd Independent Anniversary of the Republic of Benin. The president, who is also the chairman of the Authority of Head of State and the Government of the Economic Community of West African States, was invited by President Patrice Talon of the Republic of Benin. The president will be accompanied on the one-day visit by 6 governors. Like he said in a statement earlier today, the governors are Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos, Seyi Makinde of Oyo, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara, Nasir Idris of Kebbi, and Muhammad Bago of Niger. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to roll out buses across the state and local government for mass transit at a much more affordable rate. He said his government has made provision to invest 100 billion between now and March 2024 for the purchase of 3,000 units of 20-seater buses running on compressed natural gas (CNG). This is part of some palliatives the president disclosed during a national broadcast on Monday to cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal on Nigerians. According to him, these buses will be shared with major transportation companies in the state using the intensity of travel per capita. The president also said that the government is working in collaboration with the labor unions to introduce a new national minimum wage for workers. He also commended many private employers in the organized private sector who have already implemented general salary review for employees. The governor of Kaduna State, Ubasani, have prayed to the Kaduna Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to dismiss the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and its candidate Isa Ashiru. The PDP and its candidate are challenging the victory of Mr. Sani in the 18th March governorship election. Mr. Uba's legal team, led by Bayo Ojo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, in an application filed on 23rd July, moved the motion to end proceedings in the petition based on the latest pronouncement of the Court of Appeal. Mr. Ojo referred to the 18th July 2023 judgment of the Court of Appeal in the case of All Progressives Congress (APC) against Peter Mba of Enugu State. He said the petition was knocked off at the preliminary stage due to a fatal error by the petitioners in applying for the crucial pre-hearing notice. The Governor's Council urged the tribunal to revisit his earlier motion during the pre-hearing stage that Mr. Issa and PDP had abandoned their petition and some be dismissed. Kano State government have explained the reason for the reintroduction of portrait of a former Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi in Coronation Hall, domiciled in the government house. The clarification follows speculations that the new administration in the state was poised to dissolve the five Emirate Council controversial introduced by the immediate past administration of Abdullahi Ganduje. Abdullahi Ganduje in March 2020 dethroned Mr. Sanusi as the sole Emir of Kano and introduced five Emirates in the state. He accused the Emir of insubordination and disrespect to the constituted authority. Subsequently, the portrait of Sanusi, who is the 14th Emir of Kano, was removed from Coronation Hall and was replaced with the portrait of the five serving Emirs in the state. The Kano governor's spokesperson Sanusi Bature said Sanusi was the first Emir to be coronated and presented with a stamp of office at the hall built by former governor of the state Rabiu Kwankwaso, thus his photo ought to have been there permanently. The news is coming to you from Studio Sawaba Radio. More news after the short break. Do stay.
This is news on the hour. Sawaba Radio FM. Stay tuned.
Welcome back here still onto the services of Sawaba Radio 104.9 Hadija. And you can also watch us live on our Facebook page at Sawaba Radio 104.9 Hadija and all our social media platform for more of the news update. UNICEF says improved breastfeeding practices can save more than 100,000 children each year in Nigeria and $22 million in healthcare treatment costs related to inadequate breastfeeding. The United Nations Children Fund UNICEF Nigerian country representative Christian Mundwet said this in a statement on the occasion of the World Breastfeeding Week today in Abuja. The World Breastfeeding Week is celebrated every August 1st to August 7th across the world. The theme for this year is Enable Breastfeeding, Making a Difference for Working Parents, focuses on creating more awareness on breastfeeding support in workspaces. Our correspondent Khadija Nurul has more on the day.
Breastfeeding is one of the most effective ways to ensure child health and survival. Breast milk is the ideal food for infants. It is safe, clean, and contains antibodies which help protect against many common childhood illnesses. Breast milk provides all the energy and nutrients that the infant needs for the first month of life, and it continues to provide up to half or more of a child's nutritional needs during the second half of the first year and up to one-third during the second year of life. Breastfeeding children perform better on intelligence tests and less likely to be overweight or obese and less prone to diabetes later in life. Women who breastfeed also have a reduced risk of breast and ovarian cancers. Dr. Ibrahim Abdulrashid is a doctor at General Hospital Hadija. He highlighted some benefits on breastfeeding.
World Breastfeeding Day is a very important day to remember the importance of breastfeeding. Well, the milk naturally contains all the things, the required elements, contains energy producing, and that's the glucose. Then the other one is the aspect of immunity. The breast milk contains certain immunoglobulins that helps the body of the kid in fighting certain diseases, especially diseases of childhood. This kind of immunoglobulins will protect the child even after the years of childhood. Children that are not fed breast milk will not get disadvantages. And then again, they tend to have diseases of nutrition that will become malnourished. That's making them more susceptible to other diseases that may occur.
If breastfeeding were scaled up to near universal levels, about 820,000 child lives will be saved every year. The World Health Organization, WHO, actively promotes breastfeeding as the best source of nourishment for infants and young children. It says mothers should initiate breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth. Infants should receive nutritionally adequate and self-complementary foods while continuing to be breastfed. Breastfeeding should continue for up to 2 years and beyond. Khadija Nurul, Sawaba Radio.
Thank you, Khadija Nurul and breastfeeding is indeed effective. The Jigawa state government has once again emerged as the top performer in the 2022 Subnational Citizens Budget Transparency Survey report. The Executive Director, Socio-Economic Research and Development Center, Tijani Abdul Karim, made this known today at the Northwest Zonal launch of the 2022 State Budget Transparency Index for Nigerian State, held in Kano State. According to him, the essence of the report is to identify areas where reforms are needed and how citizens and government can work together through inclusion in ensuring that the government is held accountable for public information. Following the adoption of the CSO's 2015 recommendations and report, states currently produce a budget citizens report to enable citizens to understand the budget process. To this extent, he commended the immediate first government of Jigawa State for that leadership in ensuring that the public are included in budget process and budget information where available online, and legislators' functions in ensuring that budget are implemented and citizens are carried along as well as participate effectively in the budget process. The Economic and National Crimes Commission (EFCC) has appealed to the Supreme Court to overturn the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, discharging the former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido from trial on money laundering charges involving over 1 billion naira. The commission today disclosed in a statement by its spokesperson Wilson Uwajaren, and it had filed it as appeal against the Court of Appeal's ruling. Mr. Uwajaren said the commission filed a notice of appeal against 25th July decision of the Court of Appeal at the Supreme Court on Monday. The Court of Appeal's decision ending the 8-year-old trial was based on technical ground of lack of territorial jurisdictions and not on the merit of charges. The EFCC in 2015 charged Lamido, his two sons and their companies before the Federal High Court in Abuja with 37 counts of money laundering involving about 1.35 billion naira allegedly siphoned from the state in a money laundering scheme. The senator representing Jigawa Northwest Senatorial Zone, Senator Babangida Hussaini Walin Kazaure, announced that he donated the sum of 10 million naira to assist students from his constituency studying subjects like medicine, law, engineering, among others, in universities and other tertiary institutions of learning. He made the disclosure while responding to questions from newsmen at Federal Polytechnic Kazaure during the 40 years anniversary of the Government Secondary School Kazaure, his alma mater. He said the gesture was from his retirement benefit, which he promised during his campaign. He said he made a solemn pledge that he will do everything possible to support education and students pursuing science courses from his senatorial zone while he was campaigning for the seat of senatorship. Consequently, he found it necessary to fulfill the promise, adding that the money is part of his gratuity earmarked to support education in his senatorial zone. Still in Jigawa, the Jigawa Technical Facilitator on Immunization, Usman Bilyaminu, has said that at least 221,000 persons have so far been vaccinated against yellow fever in Malamadori local government area of the state. The information officer in the local government, Alhaji Musa Muhammad, disclosed this in a statement issued in Dutse and made available to Sawaba FM today. According to the statement, Bilyaminu announced the figure during a task force meeting on fractional inactive polio vaccination and novel oral polio vaccination scheduled to hold on August 7, 2023. It further quoted Binyaminu as saying that all the challenges faced during the exercise has been resolved with the intervention and cooperation of the traditional leaders. The statement added that the primary health coordinator of the local government area, Hamza Bello, commended the council for its support towards successful conduct of the exercise. The Borno State government has launched a substantial food and non-food palliative distribution to mitigate the impact of the hardship following the removal of fuel subsidy. During the flag-off ceremony held at the Muna Garret suburb of Maiduguri, the state governor Babagana Zulum said the initiative was targeted at 300,000 households of 6 members each, equating to approximately 1.8 million people. Zulum said the initiatives was a response to the recent economic hardships triggered by the withdrawal of subsidies from petroleum products. The beneficiaries, including displaced persons from Mapa local government area, expressed their gratitude for the timely assistance as they had been facing food scarcity and raising commodity prices, making survival difficult. One of the beneficiaries, Falmata Bulama, thanked the state government for remembering them. A 23-year-old Keke Napep rider Nazir Daliti has reportedly been stabbed to death by suspected thieves and his tricycle stolen in Patuskum local government area of Yobe said. It was gathered that the incident occurred yesterday. Daliti's uncle Muhammad Mukhtar Umar told newsmen that his nephew went out for his business of riding commercial tricycle Keke Napep, but he did not return home as he used to. The police public relations officer Yobe State Command DSP Dungus Abdul Karim, who confirmed the incident to newsmen, also said the police are on the trial of the perpetrators. He called that the command recently called on residents to always cooperate with the police and sister security agencies operating in the state by giving credible information and report on many suspicious movement of person, vehicle, or activities at all times. The United Kingdom and its allies stand ready to support any effort made by ECOWAS leaders to restore democracy in Niger, where the president was recently overthrown in a coup, says British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly. Speaking to the BBC in Accra, Mr. Cleverly said it was important for African leaders to head off the response and that if the UK receives specific requests for assistance, it will consider them. Regional leaders and Western countries have condemned the coup in Niger and imposed sanctions on the country, but the military men in charge of Mali and Burkina Faso have disagreed with this approach. The UK announced on Monday it was suspending aid to Niger, but Mr. Cleverly has not specified any targeted sanctions for the coup leaders. When asked about Russia's Wagner Group expansion in Africa, the British Foreign Minister stated that Vladimir Putin and the Wagner Group are not friends of African people due to the exploitative nature of their activities. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom aims to be a partner of equals on the continent, Mr. Cleverly added. Kenya's President William Ruto has scolded top government officials for arriving late to a scheduled meeting, saying it showed lack of discipline. The officials were supposed to be there to sign performance contract. According to local media report, multiple senior government officials were prohibited from entering State House in the capital, Nairobi, and left waiting in the car park as the event ensued. Kenyan state officials have been signing similar contracts as way of measuring the performance of their ministries and state agencies for the past 20 years. The president also vowed to address the misuse of taxpayers' money as well as putting a halt to the cycle of unfulfilled promises. In June, Mr. Ruto signed into law a controversial finance bill that doubled the tax on fuel and introduced a new housing levy, among other measures. The plans have been criticized by the opposition and led to a series of protests across the country. Now to support news. It is now been confirmed that Nigeria's Super Falcons are set to face England next Monday in the round of 16 at the Women's World Cup. England sealed their place in the knockout stages after thrashing China 6-1 in their final group game on Tuesday. Nigeria qualified yesterday after drawing 0-0 with Ireland. I will wrap up the news with this and a recap of the major stories. From the news, Presidential Election Court reserves judgment on Atiku's case against Tinubu. EFCC urged Supreme Court to overturn discharge of ex-governor Sule Lamido. Jigawa State tops 2022 budget transparency survey. United Kingdom ready to follow West Africans' lead on Niger airport. On behalf of the news department and the news editor Muhammad Suleiman Yubi, I am Salma Adamu Iko. Have a great night.